Hey folks, so this will be my first time trying something a little different than my usual Master Duel replays. Here I'll be showcasing something that's eventually will come to Master Duel in the future, and what I'll be testing today is of course Dracoslayers, specifically Eyes Dracoslayers. Now I have specifically 5 replays to showcase. They'll all showcase my first time trying the deck out. Like, I'm still learning, of course, and I honestly do not know how it's gonna go, but it will be interesting. So let's begin. Right. So the first match, I set the timer to 300, which not 300, there's 3 minutes, which is not enough time, but this hand's pretty interesting. So Kasira Fenrir will special summon itself. It's basically the new Tops, right? And then there's Joker is gonna search me a Odd Eyes name or Magician name or Performer Power. So I search Revolution. Revolution, it's gonna activate after Fenrir. So Fenrir is just gonna search me another fodder card or discard later on. So Revolution, it's gonna search me any of the Dracoslayers or any of the Dragon Pendulum. So I search Luster Pendulum for my Dracoslayer engine. I then take both my Fenrir and my Joker to make Beyond the Pendulum to search my Odd Eyes Seer, which is a low scale. And then I will scale both Luster and Seer. After, so Luster and then Seer. So right now their effects are negated because of Beyond the Pendulum. And then once I've done that, I Pendulum summon because I'm forced to. So Pendulum Sork, Joker, and the Raccoon. And Sork is going to pop my Seer, and my Raccoon is going to search me Pegasus. Right? So here's the interesting thing about Pegasus. Pegasus is your searcher. It's also your field spell searcher on special summon, which is pretty good at a cost of discarding a card. So you can search things like Necro Valley or Sky Iris. So the rank 4 exceeds is going to summon a Draco monster from my extra deck. So now I'm going to search Dynamis. Yeah, Dynamis, which is going to special summon the scale. So Luster is going to pop my Pegasus now, and then I search another Pegasus, right? And then I put Dynamis in scale to summon my Luster. Sadly, the Raccoon is a 3, but I can summon Pegasus, and Pegasus' effect will discard a card to search for my 1 interruption, which is Necro Valley, which is really strong in against metas like Tears. So Luster and get special summon off of Dynamis, and then I make the Ignister, the most broken card ever for the new support. Ignister is going to special summon a Draco name from my deck. So I summon Dynamis again, and its effect will, if it's tributed, it allows me to re-add a card from the extra deck that's a Draco name. Seer is broken and it's going to add me back to Revolution for revival. So here I make Electromite now. Electromite will pop Dynamis and then adds back the typical Astro play that you normally see me do, right? So I pop the Dynamis, Astrograph, but I'm not going to use Astrograph effect, I believe, here yet, because I want to make sure it searches Revolution. So now, oops, the setting here is weird, but Dynamis Charge will add me the Dynamis card. And then I believe I took those and made Cross Sheep for my next play. So Audit Revolution will pop itself to summon Ignister, and Ignister's effect is not once per turn. And now I activate Astrograph. Astro will add back the Revolution that I destroyed by searching it, of course. And the Ignister is going to summon again. It is so broken. What the heck? Why is that even a thing? So I think I summoned the other Dracoslayer card, and I took both of them to summon Dynamis Fusion and triggering Cross Sheet to summon back my Pensork. And I take all those cards to make Appaloosa. I was running out of time here, but I could have kept going. It's so broken, and I'll use Revolution again, and I ran out of time. That sucks. So I wasn't done with my combo plays, but it is what it is. Pretty interesting, yeah? So this next game, I am going second. And looks like my hand is pretty good. for the most part. Of course, I said I opened 2 Pegasus, but it is what it is. So since Avo's playing Branded, I'm just waiting for his Branded Fusion for Ash target. But it looks like he has a call by, so at this point it really doesn't matter what I do. Yeah, pretty much. That sucks. So, on to me after he sets his card, which is Expulsion, I believe. No, it's Banishment, sorry. I draw and I drew my own Bastille card, which of course I used, but I banished the wrong target. I probably should just banish the Albion so his whatchamacallit, his banishment is not live. But oh well. So right now to play around his pop, his banishment, his Mirror Jade, and I believe the tribute that's gonna happen off of Boldrake.
1, 2, 3, 4,
So this will special summon the Pegasus, and Pegasus will act its effect. I discard after searching Sky Iris. I mean, I feel like I should have just waited that out and just went for Beyond the Pendulum and then just pen summon here. Then I would have more plays off my Raccoon as well instead of the Sky Iris play. Yeah, I feel like I should just pen summon. So I search, and here I decided to make Beyond the Pendulum after I scale the Pegasus. Or normal summon rather, and then made the Beyond the Pendulum. Of course I played this terribly, but they can play through quite a bit of interruptions for the most part. I searched my Odd Eye Seers and my Dissolver, and then I made the rank 4 Paladin. He's gonna tribute, banish my Bistio to summon his Boldrake, which has the effect to banish by tributing one of his monsters. That's either light or dark. So using my Paladin, I summoned back my Luster, and then I made the Ignister, which of course is going to tribute his Bistio to remove. And that's all the plays I have off this terrible attempt to break board. Because this is my first time with Ignister for the most, or Dracoslayer, sorry, for the most part. Try to at least go for that. There's a new card in the future pack, but it's not out yet. Or a Master Duel, of course. Yeah, that's about all I can do here. So, if I were to play this a little better, I would probably pen summon a lot earlier and not discard the Sky Iris for resource purposes, because I get to search off of the Raccoon for my third Pegasus that I can use later on. I should now have normal summoned to miss, most likely. And just went for Beyond with just the 2 that's right on the field. I could have saved my normal summon for something better. But oh well. Anyway, I lost here, so moving on to the next replay. Alright, so third duel, I believe I was going first. So Fenrir's effect, I search Unicorn, activate Dino Mist charge to search my Dino Mist. Joker activates, searches my Revolution. Revolution searches my Luster. Then I scale both Luster and Dino Mist. Luster's effect, searches Dino Mist, add back Dino Mist thanks to the continuous. Dino Mist special summons Luster. Then I make Ignister. Ignister will summon a Dracoslayer, activate the effect to search Necro Valley, discard their Unicorn, make Beyond. And then I search Sears, activate Sears. Now I pen summon. One, because I misclicked, but I was still able to do something here, don't worry. So Revolution summons the Ignister, Ignister's effect again summons that, then make Electromite, summons, searches Astro, pops that, search Astro. Astro's effect, searches Revolution, draws a card. I drew the Sky Iris, thank goodness. Sky Iris pops, searches Arc Pendulum, then make Krashi, Pendulum's effect, Revolution's effect pops, and then I summon my Dissolver once more. Then activate the effect, and then I fusion summon, then make that. But because I blocked my scales, I had to end combo a little early. So yeah, pretty strong, even though I just misclicked once pen summon, right? And I disrupt his entire graveyard, so his, yeah, Necro Valley literally just countered his entire deck, sadly. So yeah, that's pretty much GG right there. Yeah, I'm just going for game at this point. Yep. On to the next game. Alright, so it looks like I'm going first again. Active Revolution. Revolution is going to search me Luster. I scale Luster and I scale Pegasus. Pegasus effect will allow me to search Dino Mist. Then I use the effect of Luster to pop it to search another Pegasus. Then I activate the effect of Mist to summon Luster. Then I normal summon my Pegasus to make the Ignister. Now Ignister is going to summon a Dracoslayer card, so I summon Phoenix. Beyond will search again, so I search Sears, scale the Sears, and pen summon from here. Since I'm locked out from using anything else, so yeah. Now I activate the effect of Pegasus. Pegasus will discard my Ash. Now I use Sky Iris. Sky Iris pops the Dino Mist, searches my Arc, and then the Odd Eyes line begins. So Sears is going to pop and add back my Revolution, triggering Arc. Arc is going to summon my Valet, and Valet is going to mill Pensorg. Then I make the Majestic, and then Majestic is going to summon my Luster, and then make Electromite. Electromite searches Astro. I use the effect of Revolution again, pops the Arc. Then I use Electromite to draw, then revive, triggering the Astrograph. Well, first I use that, and then make Krashi, and then make that, and then some Pensorg. And then Pensorg is probably going to trigger to pop my Sky Iris, then we'll trigger my Sork. So Sork is still going to start Revolution, of course. And then I decided to make Appaloosa, activating the Fusion to summon Phoenix, just activating some of that, and then, yeah, you get the idea. Cool, for the most part. You can honestly do a lot of link plays. For me, I'm just doing a little bit more of MD styles of strat with the usual combo line. But there's a lot of different combo lines you can go with Ignister using the Odd Eyes package, such as the links, of course, the U-Link is also a thing. I haven't experimented with that yet, so, but for most part, I'm just trying to get acquainted to this entire deck first, and then probably branch out in the future when it does hit Master Duel. But yeah, that's GG. Moving on. Alright, so on to the deck list. It's really weird. I'm playing mostly on the OCG side because I'm more familiar with that limitation, since they have Electromite at 1, Astrograph at 1, and of course Luster Pendulum to 1, which is all limited to 1 on Master Duel. So you do expect something like this when it is released in Master Duel going forward. So right now I'm playing Triple Phoenix. What does this card do? You mainly use it for its monster effect and not necessarily its pendulum effect. Its pendulum effect, you will have to require a a non-pendulum Dracoslayer or Ignite monster, which I don't have, of course, so its pendulum effect is dead for the most part. Its monster effect is what I use because you combo this with Luster or anything that destroys Phoenix in the scale. So like Sky Iris, for example, if you pop Phoenix will trigger and special summons a Dracoslayer monster or Ignite monster from the deck, mainly Dracoslayer because I do not have any Ignite monsters. And that's about it for this card. Combo with Luster, and Luster of course is the enabler for your Phoenix. It pops a scale to add back that same scale you popped as long as you have another copy of it in the deck. And it's just a great way for you to cycle a monster into the extra monster zone. Just think of it like a Wisdom Eye. It pops itself to basically search a card while giving you a body for free when you do Pendulum Summon. Triple Pegasus is just way too good. Its scale effect is when you do have either a Dracoslayer or a Magispector card in scale, you get to search a Dracoslayer Pendulum monster with a different original name than that card. Right? And this pop one card after you do that is optional. You do not have to pop another scale after you search. So you can click no if you do not want to pop. But sometimes, for example, if you do want to pop and you want to scale, say, a miss, you can basically do Pegasus pop itself, scale the miss instead, and then miss. Actually, no, sorry. You can pop itself, right? To then have Phoenix in scale instead. And if you have Luster and you did not use Luster's effect yet, you can pop the Phoenix that you scale, and Phoenix will activate its effect to special summon a Dracoslayer monster from the deck. Well, in this version, right? And then if you have Miss in hand, you can use Miss's effect to special summon the Luster, and that way this will give you automatically the synchro play right there, or just make Electromite. Really up to you. Speaking of, onto Dino Miss, you're free. Think of it like Curtain Raiser or Dark Worm sort of scenario where you can target a card right in the scale, so it has to be Dracoslayer and just special summon it. For Dark Worm or Current Raiser, they have very specific cases, but this is just, think of it like that. Just think of it like a special summon. That's about it. And its monster effect is when it's tributed, you can add either a Dracoslayer or Dynamis, mainly Dracoslayer, because you do not play any other Dynamis besides this, any Dynamis card for the most part. And you're gonna add it back from the extra deck to the hand. So it's a great way to recycle some names back to the hand to activate their effects if you need, if you haven't yet, right? And what you contribute with is specifically your fusion. This is what you tribute off to summon, and that's how you're gonna get the effect, right? And then on to the next card, we have Joker. Joker is just there to search any of the Odd Eye's specific names or any of the performer pound names. What's your target? Mainly your target is Sears, because Sears is what gets you Revolution effect twice. Sometimes if you have Revolution and Sears ready, you can search Arc. Or you have that already set up. What I'm playing is Pendulum Source. Most players don't play Pendulum Source. I'm just testing it out because it's just having fun. That's about it for Joker. The raccoon that I call the Magispector Raccoon Bambuku. It's a way to play Pegasus. It's basically you're playing 6 Pegasus because this searches Pegasus in the deck. And Pegasus is what searches your Dracoslayer names that are different, that's in scale, right? So you're basically like playing 6 copies. It's just that good. The one Astrograph Sorcerer, Astrograph Electromite combo, nothing much to say there. Searches your Revolution when it's destroyed. That's what you typically want to do, is have it search Revolution. Think of Astro Revolution as the new Starving Venom line for the most part, sorta, right? And Revolution is basically going to revive Ignister non-stop because it has a soft once per turn effect. I'm just playing the one Fenrir testing. You don't have to play this. This is a new card that's coming eventually for Master Duel. Not now, of course, but eventually. Your typical triple Ash, triple Maxi, replaceable, whatever you want. I'm so familiar with Master Duel stuff that I'm just playing that. The one Sky Iris, of course, easily searchable off of Pegasus. It's just a way to access your Odd Eyes and Perform POW names. The one Duelist Alliance, another way to access your Arc, your Pendulum Arc Dragon. For me, since I'm playing a little bit more, I can also search Pendulum Sork off of Duelist Alliance. The one Dino Mischarge, a great way to add Miss. So there's basically like 4 copies of Miss, and if Miss is removed from scale, you can add it back to your hand thanks to the second effect, right? So it's just 1 is enough. It's a hard once per turn on each effect. Triple Sears is a new Odd Eyes card that's coming out. I don't know if Master Duel will have it, but if so, it will come out. And it's just so good. Basically, it's a 1-card wonder when you have Revolution in hand. So what the combo is, Revolution's effect will activate to search you Arc Pendulum, and you open Sears, you scale the Sears along with the Arc, you pop the Sears to add back the Revolution, triggering Arc, and Arc will summon any of the Odd Eyes names from your deck, hand, or graveyard. Right, so it's a free body. So typical plays is Arc will summon Dissolver, and you can use both Arc plus Dissolver to make an early Vortex to potentially play around hand traps or something that they may use to disrupt your combo early, right? So it's a great way to do that. And then of course you recycle the Revolution off of Sears, and because of that, Sears not only becomes an extra body in the extra monster zone, it also gives you Revolution to search Luster Pendulum or any any Dragon Pendulum names. So it can be the one Luster Pendulum, it can be the one Master Pendulum. This is just mainly for scale, and this is for scale plus search for bodies, but you have that off of Sears. So yeah, it's just really strong. For the most part, and when you do pendulum summon it has to be very specific what you do in its placement. So in attack position, you can banish its effect. You can banish to then target either a Perform POW or an Odd Eyes to special summon it. So think of it like it's just a Monster Reborn, right? Think of it like that. But it has to banish itself, so you lose itself to add something else. So for me, I'm playing the one Perform POW Sork to try and get it revived from its effect. Typically I don't do this. Typically I would use Celine to do that for me, but you can use Sears to do that. Its other effect is if it's in defense position though, it becomes more of a Foolish Burial sort of effect. Or a Pendulum, I believe, Treasure, where you add a card to the extra deck. So it's basically in defense, you either take a Perform POW or Odd Eyes Pendulum monster from the deck and you either mill it or add it face up in the extra deck. Great way to get stuff into their graveyard for the most part for Celine target in this version. The one Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum, you only need 1, and because it's a hard once per turn effect, it's a great revival effect for your Odd Eyes names. Specifically, most of the time, if you were playing like the version that most people play, it's just the one Dissolver. They don't play like the Synchron or the Pensork or the Valet. These are just more targets for myself to experiment with. You don't have to play them. So speaking of Dissolver and Synchron, these two work hand in hand with Cross Sheep, of course. Cross Sheep, Dissolver, and Synchron. Dissolver effect, fuse a Pendulum plus Synchron in hand, summons Vortex, then Cross Sheep will trigger, summoning the Synchron from the graveyard. Synchron activates effect, bring back the Dissolver from scale, and make Barons. That's 2 negates off of just these 2, right? The one Dracoslayer, Massive Pendulum, just for more Revolution target if you need it, not necessary for the most part, but it's just there for scale. So one Pendulum Sork is something I'm just playing. You don't have to play it. Honestly, it's just for experiments. The Valet, same thing. It's another Foolish. The same thing with Sears, except Sears has to be through Pendulum. This is just basic special or normal. It's just a Foolish Burial for targets. So what targets are you targeting? Your Revolution, of course. You can also target Pendulum Sork. These 2 cards if you target Penstork, it becomes level 4, and why is 4 important? Because the Exceeds card, Paladin, the generic 2 level 4. So you can use this plus any of the Dracoslayers or any 4s to make that, to continue your plays. So that's why I'm playing. Right, the one Bisteel is another new card. Eventually we'll come to Master Duel for the most part, and we'll deal with a lot of popular light or dark base decks. Not much to explain for now. Of course, Necro Valley, it's a free search off of Pegasus if you choose to search it. It's just that good, especially going forward. The one Unicorn is for my Fenrir target. Again, you don't have to play these. I'm just experimenting. Same thing with Bisteel, the other Bisteel card. You don't have to play any of these. Right, the most common thing you will see if you're a Master Duel player is Maxi Ash, and for Dracoslayer they can play a lot of hand traps. So you can replace Fenrir, you can replace Bisteel for more go-second options, and that will work fine because they just have way too much search effects. Now onto the extra deck. Of course, I'm playing the one Dino Power, the Mighty Dracoslayer. You typically summon this off by tributing the Dino Might Power Load, the Dracoslayer card, plus a high level pendulum monster, I believe, to summon it. And for me, I'm summoning it under Cross Sheet for the most part. But typical play is this will summon a Dino Mist from the graveyard that you use as material off of the Paladin. And then you take this plus the Ignister to make your Hope. So that is the new Dracoslayer line to make Hope for them. And that's about it for the most part with this card. I do not know if its effect is a soft once per turn. If it is, please let me know. But it's a great extender card. The one Ignister, the most broken Dracoslayer card for Dracoslayer. Its effect is not soft once per. Its effect is not hard once per turn. Its effect is a soft, so you can always recycle it as long as you summon it multiple times to summon basically any Dracoslayer name from your deck. And its other effect is a great secondary option effect where you pop a card, pop a scale rather, and then you shuffle a card, I believe. Yeah, shuffle a card from the field to the deck. And I believe the shuffle is not targeting, so it's non-targeting, the shuffle effect. So if you're playing against another Pendulum player, you can target their Pendulum monster, right? It's either on field here, it doesn't really matter. And you get to shuffle their cards, so that's like 2 disruptions for the most part. It's just that good. And you always recycle the Ignister off of the Revolution. That's where you want to recycle. The one Paladin is just another great recursion effect. It's a generic rank 4. You summon any Dracoslayer names from the extra deck onto a Link Arrow. So what I mean by Link Arrow? So I mean, like if you have Paladin on field with say a Beyond, you do not want to block a Link Arrow that Beyond is pointing to. So you see the 2 bottom left arrows. You do not want to place them either arrows just in case you have another monster in one of the arrows from the pen summon. The reason is you need one of them open to summon from the extra deck to the Link Arrow points to. I of course made some typical misplays in my replays because of that, but just know that that's how you're going to summon from the extra deck. If your arrows are blocked, try to resolve it to activate its effect. It also has a end phase effect to search any Pendulum card from your deck. So if you haven't searched anything that such as Astrograph for example, or follow a card like Joker, you can search those. You can also search wherever else you haven't summoned yet for the most part. I typically search the Astral Joker. I'm moving on. So Dweller, for future reference, Dweller will become quite prominent when Tears is a thing. So it's there to deal with graveyard heavy decks, graveyard focus. I tried to end with it, but I messed up my combo a little earlier, as you saw in most replays. But it is, you can obviously make the Dweller in this deck, it's just way too good. You can also do a Link combo and end with Baguska in this deck, because they're just so versatile at it. And Baguska is basically a, let's say they max it, you summon this and you pass and hope they don't have an answer to Baguska for the most part. But in Dracoslayers, you can do entire Link play and have Baguska set. Summon on the field. So you can have, I don't know what the typical Link play is, but I believe it's something like Appaloosa with the wizard, the Trigate wizard, and another Link card with Bad Goose Cut. Sometimes IP Masquerade, I believe, or something. Don't know. But yeah, moving on. So Beyond the Pendulum, your generic one pendulum, one monster. Searches effect for 12. Searches a monster. Sorry, for 1200. And if you summon 2 different levels, if you pen summon 2 different levels onto the arrows it points to, you get to pop a card on. You get to pop up to 2 cards on the field. Yeah, not much to say. It's good. Electromite, of course, great card. Surges a card from the deck to the extra monster zone, and not monster, to the extra deck, and then you pop a scale, add it, and then draw. Yeah, typically Electromite Astrograph. That's what you see me do all the time. Yeah, it's just good. And then the one Celine, not much to say. You see me use it all the time. It's just great recursion effects. Typically, I would Celine into Pensor. Pensor pops to scale, search, dissolver, and synchron. That's my typical play there. I'm testing out the new Zia Lances card. This card is not out in Master Duel, of course. It's just a great way to reset the field by banishing every monster in the zone. And then you summon all of them back to the field, either face down or face up. So if you're going second, of course you can summon this card, and you flip all of the opponent's monster face down and keep all of your monsters face up. Sadly though, its condition to summon has to be a link 4. So while it says 1+ effect monster, you need to have a link 4 on field to have that condition met. Otherwise, it's your typical requirements of, let's say, Celine +1 monster, or Beyond or Electromite +2 monsters, right? That's about it. The one Appaloosa, of course, not much to say. It's just your negates access code for game. The one Hope Harbinger, you make it off of Ignister and the Dinoster power. The one Cross Shoes on testing, you don't have to play it. It's just my typical combo line. The one Vortex and the one Baron de Cure off of the Cross Shoe combo. Yeah, that's about it. What I was testing with this deck. It's quite fun for the most part. I do enjoy trying out Dracoslayer, and can't wait for it to actually hit Master Duel so I can experiment a bit more. But for now, this was quite a nice little taste into the future of Pendulum, and honestly I feel like Dracoslayer will definitely be the next best Pendulum deck to play for the most part. And I just from me testing out what I understand of it as of now, yeah, it is. So yeah, that's about it. If you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the comments below. Thanks for watching again, and take care. Bye everyone.